7,617,930. That's a big number, and that's the number of square kilometres that make up Australia's landmass, making it the 6th biggest country in the world and a heck of a huge place to get out and explore. My earliest memories are of exploration and adventure. Sure, when I was a young tacker, that might have meant just riding my bike down to the end of the street alone to check out what was there. But as I got older, this led me to buying my first four-wheel drive, and from there, things really opened up. Since 1983, HEMA maps have provided four-wheel drivers like you and I information that has helped us to fulfil our dreams of adventure. They've been mapping this great country with the utmost of detail and accuracy. And now we're going to find out exactly how they do it, because I'm about to join HEMA on a survey trip to the geo-centre of the Simpson Desert. It's morning and it's time to go over the final plan with our expedition team. Rob, we are right now here, Mount Dare. What's the plan? I mean, I've driven 3,000 k's to sit at this table right now over the last 5 days. Where are we going, mate? Talk us through it.
The simple goal is to head to the geo-centre. It's smack in the dead centre of the Simpson Desert, but it's crazy remote. You know, it's a don't try this at home kind of place.
Yeah.
And in this area we've got basically the Madigan line to the north, the Colson Track to the west, the French line to the south, and the Hay River. So there's this huge empty quarter in the northern part of the Simpson Desert.
What's the go with heading out to the middle of the Simpson from a mapping perspective? What's the go there for you guys?
Well, we've got the Simpson Desert pretty well mapped, as you know. We've been publishing maps out here for a long, long time. But we show a lot of stuff on our maps, historical stuff like old shot lines, cleared lines, sometimes as detailed as a star picket or a benchmark or a 44-gallon drum. And we need to go and verify which ones are still there.
I'd be right in saying, even for yourself, Dave, this is a pretty ambitious plan.
Well, Rob said earlier that this is no Mickey Mouse trip, and he's absolutely right. Look, I travel out into the Simpson Desert along the French line, you know, very carefree, you know, maybe arguably too carefree, but I feel comfortable out there because I travel it all the time. Now, I don't often even take 2 spare wheels out there on this trip. 2 spare wheels, spare tyre, tubes, tyre repair gear, the works. More tools than I would ever normally take on a trip. Oils and fluids and stuff like that, I don't normally take that out. If I go and do a recovery tomorrow, I'll just jump in my car and I'll go. My car's spent the last 4 days in the workshop. I've had the diff out and all that sort of stuff. I've really been going through it, top to bottom, hopefully to alleviate any potential problems.
So if you're taking this seriously, this really is quite the trip. But I've said it before on many a DVD, guys, we're not going to get there sitting here.
No, true.
We'll be entering the desert from the west through the Witjira National Park, and then we're going to follow the French line until we turn north up the Colson Track and into the Northern Territory in search of a specific shot line that's going to take us to a position south of our target. From there, we will head north on another shot line before our final push west to the geographical centre of the Simpson Desert. This is going to be an adventure of a lifetime. Having finalised our preparations, amongst a whole heap of other things, I'm carrying 250 litres of fuel, 100 litres of water, comms, permits, recovery gear, and bucket loads of anticipation as we head into the Witjira National Park. I am so excited. This is the moment I've been waiting for, day one. We're finally underway. This part of the country we're travelling through down here now, culturally and environmentally, very significant part of the world. Culturally, of course, because the traditional inhabitants of this land have been living at close ties, even today, through here for thousands of years. It's now called the Witjira National Park, but of course they've known it for a lot longer than we have. Environmentally, well, there's so many environmental reasons, but you can't go past Dalhousie Springs down here. Dalhousie Springs actually has several species of aquatic life forms that aren't found anywhere else in the world. Think about that, because this part of the country only receives 150 mil or less of rain a year. It really is little pockets of life in the desert down there, little oasis of life in the desert. Bit of a privilege to be out here. So pumped, so stoked. Approximately 60 k's after the Dalhousie Springs, we hit the first of hundreds of dunes we have to cross.
So boys, here we are in the Simpson Desert. Welcome, we've just crossed the first dune. heading to Perny Bore.
You know what's remarkable is that that first dune we just crossed is literally on my map here. So we really have entered the desert. It's like a little gateway. Second dune done. How many we got to go?
1134.
All right, I'll start counting them down. The Simo is mostly a dry, arid and, well, seemingly inhospitable place, but if you look closely, you're going to find a variety of critters that call this place home.
Hey boys, there's a dingo up on the left there. Yeah, I don't know if it's purebred or not.
You get many of them out here, Dave? You get them around Mount Dare?
Yeah, there's dingoes everywhere out in the desert, especially just near Perny Bore. But no, they do get a bit mangy. It's been dry for a little while around here now, so you might be struggling a little bit for some food.
What would he be living on? I mean, goodness gracious, there's not a great deal out here, and I mean, he wouldn't have a great deal of energy either.
No, well, they live on small rodents and lizards and things like that.
What about feral cats? Can they catch them?
I reckon a feral cat would round a dingo up, no worries. Yeah, they're pretty vicious things.
I reckon it'd round that dingo up. Right, I reckon we leave him be. We've bothered him enough. Let's get out of here. Before the driving heats up, I was keen to get to know Rod's co-pilot and right-hand man at HEMA. Hey Graham, this is Graham. You got a copy, mate?
G'day Graham, this is Graham. I've got a copy.
Hey mate, what's your background with HEMA?
I'm HEMA's Digital Product Manager and been involved with the Navigator range since about 2008. And my current device that I'm responsible for is the HEMA Navigator HN7. It's just fantastic seeing it out in the desert. It's showing us the way, giving us confidence to travel.
Speaking of which, mate, how often does Rob let you out of the factory? Are you allowed to get out here much?
Every chance I can.
Mate, it sounds like a cracking company to work for. You're not looking for a short, hairy bloke, are you?
That's all right. I thought I was a short, hairy bloke.
Well, that right there is the Perny Bore. I think the thing you're going to notice most about it when you get here yourself, because you are going to get out here yourself, is there's a massive amount of bird life that are attracted to the waters out there. The bore was actually drilled back in about 1963 and it was let flow pretty much unrestricted until the late 80s, about 88 I think it was, when they turned it down to a bit of a trickle just to keep that wetland there. And the reason they did that was they were wasting way too much water and it was going to have some sort of an effect on the Great Artesian Basin. So these days there's still plenty of water out there. Perny Bore, you can camp out there, no fires allowed of course. It's a magic spot. I reckon first thing in the morning that would be bird noises from heaven. Given the amount of water out there and of course all the bird life, I'm not surprised at those emus out there making their way towards Perny Bore. Magic spot. Shortly after the Perny Bore, we crossed the border into the Simpson Desert Regional Reserve, and already I'm starting to see that the task ahead is becoming very apparent. Even though it looks a bit bumpy at the moment, and it is I guess, I'm actually on the track right now. And I'm just looking to my left and to my right, and thinking as soon as we turn off this track, it is going to be rough. I mean, what we've got to the left and to the right, of course, is virgin desert. And although we will be trying where we can to follow those shot lines that are marked on the HEMA from satellite imagery, this terrain out here is just so uneven, it's so broken up, so weathered, so pitted. I mean, it's a desert for goodness sake. Couple that with the fact that all over it, spinifex clumps. That, dry dead timber, we really could be in for it. So whilst I can, I'm going to enjoy this track. It's a bit like a highway.
Alrighty boys, looks like we're here at the Rig Road and French Line Junction.
You know, keeping on schedule on a trip like this is going to be very difficult due to the huge distances of unknown terrain that we've got in front of us. And that's why we're going to cover ground quickly where we can. And right now, the French line is looking pretty good.
Well boys, this is our last dune before the Colson.
So I'm guessing we're going to be stopping at the traffic lights down here, then turning left, mate.
Yeah, that's the one, left-hand turn on the Colson.
Having reached the junction for the Colson track, Graham quickly geotags the signpost and we turn north. The Colson follows this swale between the dunes, so the driving should be pretty straightforward. Just up ahead here, there's a couple of things I'm dead keen to check out. One of which, of course, is that Northern Territory, South Australian border. I reckon it could be a pretty tightly held border, that one. Border security. And then, just past that, is the Colson oil well, which of course is abandoned now, but that's the whole reason for this road being in here. If it wasn't for that Colson oil well, this road wouldn't exist. If this road didn't exist, those shot lines wouldn't come off it. If those shot lines didn't come off this, well, we wouldn't stand a chance of getting into the geo centre. So this road here really holds the answers for us. This is the key to the lock. Keep using the word road, it ain't a road. This is a remote track in the middle of the Simpson Desert. The sun's getting low, it's really time to start thinking about camp. And of course, a camp in the Simpson Desert just wouldn't be the same without a campfire. Just as I saw a big clump of good-looking firewood, I found a new friend. Have a look at this, folks. We just stopped to grab some firewood, and just sitting up on the log that we were going to get to take with us was this beautiful little dragon. There's one of many species of dragons out here. I don't know the actual name for this little bloke, but look how relaxed he is and calm he is. I'm not holding on to him. He's just happily chilling out here. I'll never tire of seeing these critters. In fact, I'll never tire of seeing wildlife, full stop. Thanks so much, buddy. He's not much of a talker, but he's a great listener. I'm going to go and put him back. There's so much dead fallen gidgee out here, and as far as I'm concerned, it's some of the best wood for campfire cooking you will find anywhere. The coals burn hot and they last a heck of a long time. With just enough wood collected to last the night, we continued north.
So boys, we might be in the Northern Territory pretty soon. Counting it down, 26 degrees south. Bang, there we go. Yeehaw. Hello, Northern Territory.
Yep, crossing into the Northern Territory isn't exactly momentous, but at least it does have a rusty marker that I reckon is pretty befitting this harsh landscape. What a magic time of night. We've just pulled into this little spot right now to check out what is the remnants of an old oil camp out here, and of course that is linked to the shot lines that we're going to be trying to find. But what I think this is one of the old camps. And you can tell by the time of day that for us, it's about time to set up camp. So if it was good enough for them, it's good enough for us. So I'm going to get the swag out, maybe even crack a beer. What a spot, absolutely sensational. Camping in the Simo, it's about as good as it gets. Big open spaces, plenty of firewood, and a billion stars. Have a look at that, will you? Dave's got a full-size barbecue in the back of that truck. Now, I probably could fit it in my car if it wasn't for the fact that I'm carrying all of the camera gear and all of their clothing. Of course, the Simo in summer can be a pretty harsh spot, but this time of year, midwinter, it is picture perfect. The nights out here, however, do get chilly. We're expecting it to get well into single figures tonight.
Tonight we have Atlantic salmon that I'm going to cook on the barbecue. Potatoes that we're going to roast in the gas-fired camp oven so we don't have to wait for the campfire. And I'm going to do long beans that we'll call green beans, squash and honeyed carrots. We're going to follow that up with some extra healthy chocolate mud cake and cream.
All right, bring it on.
With Dave cooking up a feast on his huge barbecue, I figured I'd make the most of this awesome fire Rob's got going. Look at that gidgee burn. That stuff is pure magic.
Righto guys, we're ready. Come and get it.
Got to be kidding me.
Salmon,
This is
roast buds.
fantastic.
That is ridiculous.
Help yourself to some holiday sauce or some sour cream.
Get a load of this meal, will you? You know what? I've paid top dollar in a fancy restaurant for far worse fare than this. Dave's just knocked this up on a barbecue on the back of his four-wheel drive in the middle of the Simpson Desert.
Service, mate.
Thank you so much. Day one in the desert. This is exactly the kind of adventure that I live for. Perfect. First morning waking up in the Simpson Desert. And I tell you what, right now this feels a bit like the calm before the storm. Talking about storms, Dave's cooking one up right now. When it comes to catering, Dave runs a tight ship. Look at that breakfast.
Sandwiches in the desert, Mount Dare style.
That is superb. Absolutely superb. We're all packed up and we're back on the Colson. Now, Rob's out the front leading the way, and we're searching for one of many shot lines that are carved into the landscape out here. Rob's done a lot of homework before leaving, and he's actually found a shot line that should go all of the way to just south of our target.
There's one coming up. So there's a old star picket over here. Usually they mark them out.
Rob took a minute to try and explain to us just how the shot lines work, and that if you look off into the distance, you can just see a faint groove on the top of each of the dunes where the shot line goes up and over. This isn't the one we're looking for, and by double checking the SAT imagery and the HN7, he confirms that we need to push on to find the correct shot line. It's all eyes peeled as we look for signs of another shot line close by. It's one that Rob's got marked on his HEMA.
Hang on, here's the star picket. Oh, there she is. Hey, wow. two-wheel tracks to start with. That's a bonus. It's better than what we've seen before.
This is the one we've been looking for. And now it's time to air down once again.
All right, boys, let's do this thing, hey? Woohoo! That's what we came here for.
This feels mighty weird, mate. Feels mighty weird.
Leaving the safety of that nice track.
Funny though, it's not that nice a track, but it sure does feel safe.
I'd say before long we'll be in low range, I expect.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see what's at the top of this first hill.
I tell you what, this shot line has almost disappeared already. Lucky we've got Graham and Rob up there keeping us right on target using the SAT imagery and the HN7.
Come round to your right.
Yep. I'm glad you can see it, because I can't. A few metres off it and you can't spot it at all.
That's right, exactly.
Well, this didn't take long. First big jet already. We're not even a kilometre from the track.
Kilometre? I could throw a rock to the track.
Here we go.
Get up it, Rob.
Up and over.
Woo!
All right, here we go. Dune number 1. It's only a little one. I guess it tells a bit of a tale of what's to come, doesn't it?
Okay, Dave. Over you come, mate.
Cheers.
We're crossing these dunes in a west to east direction. At present, that is working in our favour. The reason being that the west side of all dunes in the Simpson Desert are less steep than the east side. Of course, that's got to do with weathering and wind. Whilst we continue in this direction, we're going to be driving up the shallowest side of the dune and coming down the steepest side. And that's going to make driving a lot easier on us, but there will come a point when we need to head west. All right, this is sand dune number 4. That's a bit of a nervous laugh, I think, because looking out over there, oh man, we have got hundreds of sand dunes to go. Some of them are going to be very easy, like this one we've just done. Some of them are going to be showstoppers that we're going to have to really get out and think about before we even tackle. I think the overwhelming thing for me right now is that of distance. How far we've got to go and how slow we're moving. We're currently doing 5 kilometres per hour. Wow. It's going to be a long trip. Oh, lots of sticks down here. This always reminds me of the Gulf. Dave, Rob's just, there's no way around and we've got to go over a few sticks here, mate. Just try and pick your path through. I don't feel like pitching a puncher right now. Just up in front is one of those stakes, bits of wood sticking out that if it hits the sidewall of my tyre, oh yeah, that's super sharp. If that hit the sidewall of my tyre, I reckon that'd just about be a tyre buster. Make sure I don't hit it. All of us are carrying 2 spare tyres on our trucks. That's a total of 6 spares. We've also got a huge array of inner tubes and puncture repair kits. We're taking no chances out here because punctures are a very, very real possibility when you're going across country through places like the Simpson Desert.
Had to give it heaps over that dune to get across it, but she dropped off on the other side. It's going to be really soft through there. Dave, it's going to get harder for the car at the back. It's always easiest first time.
Yeah, and that looked like you had to give it plenty of stick, so it gives us a good impression of what it's going to be like.
These sharp pinches at the top of the dunes can cause some problems. You see, you need enough speed and momentum to get all the way up, but then just as you reach that pinch, you want to be backing off so that you don't continue with too much momentum over the top and, of course, do damage to your vehicle. A lot of weight in the old GU.
Well, she looks big from this other side. Amazing we got over that.
Wow. That's a good dune. That's a great dune. Yeah, Dave, that's getting soft there, mate. I think you'll be okay. You just need a bit of momentum to carry you to the top.
I think I can see a track to the left. I reckon that might look a bit better than that, so I reckon I'm going to struggle.
The thing is, that first truck goes over and just cuts it up and it's really soft underneath. It's like powder. For the most part on these sand dunes, one of the really good things about them is that if you don't make it, you can reverse all the way back down and have another crack before you get bogged. However, like Dave here, you can sometimes get held up by a mound of dirt or a Spinifex bush under your chassis, and then, well, you're not going anywhere. Yeah, Dave, it just looks to me like you're caught on that lip there, mate. I reckon you're not going to need much to get over that.
It's going to belly out a bit easier than that. Have to work at it. Hello. Strap and a shackle.
All good?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, mate. I don't think you're going to need much here. Alrighty, mate, you got a copy there?
Yeah, mate.
Now, my downhill here is really bad, so this could be a bit gnarly going down the bottom of this hill, so I'll hopefully come up on you pretty quick.
Roger that. All right, I'm ready when you are.
Okay. That was perfect, mate. I got you out just before I got to these drop-offs, which I didn't want to go down at a rate of knots, so that was good work.
Excellent, thanks. Thanks again.
Look at this, Dave. With Dave up and over, we catch up with Rob and Graham, and the boys have found some interesting markers. What's the go here?
It's a pretty serious shot line, this one, in terms of how they marked it. Looks like it's got a bit of a centre one.
Yep.
There's a crossing of the other main shot line that runs north-south. Not that you can see much of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's only 4 up.
Is this supposed to be it?
Oh, another one. I thought I'd make it a nice star of 5.
Is that what's
focusing on the middle one.
Is that meant to go there?
Yeah, need a hammer, mate.
You got a hammer?
This will do the trick.
The heck is that?
Where'd you find that, Dave?
What was in? They threw it in your bin bag earlier. Bit of rubbish.
There we go.
We left it better than we found it.
5-star pickets, middle of nowhere.
5-star.
5-star. Righto. Let's get in our trucks and get away from these pickets. So far, Rob's picked some very successful lines up and through these dunes, but this one right here seems to have caught him out.
Yeah, it was so easy to get stuck. I was just lining it up to go over and came back too far.
You can see just how steep that pinch is at the top of the dune. He's lost momentum and of course he started to dig himself in.
That's you. Have a crack at that.
Nah, you're sinking down to your belly there.
Can I come back at all?
Yeah, if you go left hand down so that you can square yourself to the sand dune, and you'll have to back around that tree that's on your left mirror. Try and go around that side of it.
Now, despite being in the middle of the Simpson Desert, you'd think you'd have all the room in the world, but directly behind Rob is a dirty big tree.
All right, okay. Oh, you're worried about the tree, not the car, aren't you?
I didn't think he'd be too successful in trying to drive from there, but you never know. And with the amount of power that 200's got, it was worth a crack.
Go burning!
Yeah, you sure? Have you come down yet?
We're still flying.
We just haven't got a hope of doing that.
No.
Got to request a landing permit.
All right, see if we can pick a bit of a different line. There's no way I'm getting up that.
Yep, just up here, dude.
That was perfect. Having seen my line work out pretty well, Dave follows suit and gets over without a problem. So far, so good. Things are going well, but it's just such slow going on this journey. We simply can't pick up any speed because of the harsh terrain.
Gee, this country here makes the French line look like a highway.
This country here makes anything look like a highway. You know, one of the things that really makes it uncomfortable out here is, okay, it's undulating terrain, a lot of it, as you can see right here, but this country we're going through right now, just chock-a-block with spinifex clumps. And it really isn't the most pleasant stuff to be driving over. Hour after hour, myself, the film crew, we're all being thrown around inside these four-wheel drives, and normal tasks are becoming somewhat difficult.
We'll get there in no time. Hey, you know kids pay money for rides like this at the show?
What do you do? I'm trying to have a drink, mate.
Oh, okay. Which team do you, mate?
I think that's meant to be an 8. Not anymore. Surprises me your career didn't take off from there. Yeah, I know. The bumps, the heat and the fatigue are all taking effect, and we've got days of this ahead yet. It's time to get focused on our goal. We've got to attack these dunes and we've got to cover some ground quickly. Or maybe not. It's easy to get complacent and sand dunes can just drop away and catch you out.
Yeah, mate, just watch the, after you go right, it's a big drop to the left, so make sure you swung it around before you drop over, like I did.
I think it's back to taking it easy, eh? What's the saying? Slow and steady wins the race? I'm pretty keen to win this one. I don't know about you guys, but that sun I think is probably going to beat us into camp tonight, and I reckon it wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't much fancy down on this undulating ground. I reckon the next cleared sort of recognisable campsite, I reckon we might grab it, eh?
Sounds good, mate. You're cooking tonight, aren't you?
Needless to say, lads, you're not going to need to worry. So I've got this. You'd be amazed at just how hard it is to find any decent flat camping spots out here with all this spinifex. You might fit maybe one vehicle in, but there's no way you're going to fit 3 trucks and 6 blokes. Look at that colours now, will you? Gee whiz. Middle of the Simpson Desert, or darn close to the middle of the Simpson Desert. Look at this. It's this time of day that the desert comes alive. Early mornings, late in the afternoon, middle of the day, the desert is a harsh place. It's flat, the light is flat, the colours are flat, but either end of the day, I tell you what, wow. Sun's starting to get low, it really is time to set up camp. I reckon our best option out here right now is to pick a dune with a big flat spot on top. And this one right here looks to be the perfect one. Ordinarily out here it makes good sense to camp in the swales between the dunes. For obvious reasons, they give you quite a bit of shelter from any wind. Tonight though, the wind is perfectly still and the weather, well, it doesn't get any better. This dune we're going to call home and the view is just stunning. I think that will be a cracking spot for a fire, lads. Look at that. To sit here tonight, they say the horizon is bigger the higher you get. We've just raised it by about 6 metres. So that horizon should be almost flawless through here. I reckon I've been thinking about this trip for the last 6 to 8 months, and so far it is delivering exactly as I thought it would. We're remote out here, super remote, and for me, that is the charm. Getting into places that very, very few people ever get to see. If you've never been out and camped under a billion stars in the middle of the Simpson Desert, I urge you, put it on your bucket list. In fact, put it really high up on your bucket list and do it as soon as you possibly can. There is very few things in Australia that can capture what it's like to be in the middle of the desert with a campfire going, a couple of mates. This is as good as it gets for me. It really is. You know, I think Dave just couldn't help himself. He loves to cook, loves being in the kitchen. He's jumped up to give me a hand with my chili burgers. What I didn't realise, though, is that Dave had some pretty big news to tell me. You'd be pretty used to this up here on a sand dune, wouldn't you? Mate, you live on a sand dune. You live on the edge of Simpson Desert. How long have you been at Mount Dare for?
I've been at Mount Dare over 12 years now.
12 years?
Yes.
You gonna do another 12 years?
No. 12's enough for me. And
yep. We're going to sell Mount Dare.
Yeah, going to sell it, unfortunately.
So how's that going to work? I mean, walk in, walk out?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the only way. It's the only way to sell it. Walk in, walk out. You know, we've got a house for managers, we've got a house for staff. Yep. And everything that's there that you need to run the place, that's what it comes with.
Plus one of the most iconic pubs in Australia. You're going to stick around, give them a bit of help, some guidance?
All the help they'd like.
Wow.
If someone was interested but not quite sure,
yep,
they could lease it free for a year if they bought it, or pay a lease fee. Free for a year, free pub.
Mate, there's not much to lose there, in my opinion. I can't see a negative to that. You may as well give it a crack.
Yeah, well, it doesn't get any better than that.
No, it doesn't. That's a pretty good deal. So you came up with that?
Yes, I did, yes.
I wish you all the best with that sale, but right now, if you would like to cast your eyes down here, you're going to see 6 of the biggest burgers you've ever seen in your life.
You're too right, they are. Fair dinkum. This one's yours.
The right tool for the job makes things easier every time. The old Tigers 11 barbecue plate has been around Australia nearly 3 times. And of course, my barbecue toolkit, well, I don't leave home without it. And I reckon these are going to help me cook up award-winning chili hamburgers.
Cheers, mate.
Wrap your laughing gear around
that.
Time
be good.
Go and have a seat because you're going to need to sit down. Look at the size of that, will you?
This is nearly as good as you said it was.
Morning in any campsite brings activity. Everyone's got their own little jobs to do. Checking your truck, packing up your swag. We're all trying to get away as early as possible this morning in a bid to complete our mission to get to the Geo Centre before sundown. I've got a slow leak in one of my front tyres and I need to top that up before we get going.
Putting some fuel in?
Yeah, just, mate, the sub-tank's getting a bit low, so I thought I'd just dip a bit in. How much fuel you got left, Graham?
Fuel, about half a main and an 85 litre sub, so 70 and 85. What's that? 150 odd?
What'd you start off with?
220. Once we're packed and ready, we get ourselves orientated by getting a visual on the shot line once again. You see it down there?
Yeah. Only just though. It's just ever so slight, isn't it?
I firmly believe you wouldn't be able to follow that without GPS maps.
No, because by the time we get up to that next sander, we'll probably lose sight of it.
Well, when you're down low, that's the problem.
Yeah, you
got
can't.
nothing.
Can't see it at all.
You got to squint to see it. Not easy.
All right, well, we've got a long way to go. Standing on top of this sand dune ain't doing us any favours. Let's get out of here.
Right,
let's go that way.
Good on you.
For a heck of a long distance. Alrighty. New day, mate. The whole desert in front of you. Take the lead. Our push this morning is to reach the junction of the north-south shot line that will take us up the swales and closer to the geocentre. For now, though, it's back to business, and we're hoping that we don't have too many problems that are going to cost us more time. Alrighty, we've just come to one of those dune crossings here where Rob's got himself in a position right now where he's probably not on the best line. He's sort of taking it sideways. Yeah, you can see he's only just made that up the top there. Bit of diesel smoke in the air. What I'm going to do now is try and tackle that front on by coming to the left, straight up and over the dune. Wow, mate, I had my doubts for a second then.
Pretty gnarly, but got through okay.
Good work. Excellent stuff.
Now, soft up through here. I'm going to have to give it the berries, but I don't want to give it the berries till I get there. And I also don't want to, if I can help it, get in Rob's tracks. There we go, through nicely. Now, round to the left, and I've got to go to the right and drop down. You can hear that big turbo whistle then. I'll tell you what, sometimes power, that's all you need. All clear, mate.
Okay, we're off.
Yeah, mate. Right now, we've really penetrated deep into the interior of the Simpson Desert, and it's a bit of an overwhelming feeling. We are right now in the very centre of the Simpson Desert. Not the geographic centre, of course, but close enough to it, which means for me it's probably the most remote I've ever been. If anything were to go wrong out here right now, I'll have a think about it. We're in the middle of the Simpson Desert. Of course we've got comms, we can call people, but no one can get to us with any degree of speed. I guess the fastest way out here right now would be a chopper from where? Alice Springs, maybe, Birdsville, maybe. Even that's doubtful. This really is as remote travel in Australia gets. To be relying on your own wits, your own vehicle, your mates, preparation that you've done beforehand and the skills that you've learnt leading up to this, I reckon it's something everyone should try at least once. Wow, what was that I was saying about being prepared?
Hey Graham, your front left looks like it could be down, mate. You might want to check that.
It's one with a slow leak.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I reckon you should pull up and check it.
I've had a slow leak. When I say slow, I mean really slow. For about the last 2 days. I've only been pumping it up once a day. It's not the tyre's fault, of course. It's just the nature of the business out here, and a slow leak is an extremely hard thing to diagnose. It's obviously just a tiny little pinprick in it somewhere.
Yes.
It's done some hard yards, this tyre. I'll be forever in your debt. With a quick tyre change, we're back on the track. I'll fix that tyre once we're at camp one night. With a few solid hours driving under our belt, we've hit our key waypoint. It's the junction of the north-south shot line. Rob, I see a compass, I see a camera, I see a tripod. What on earth is going on here, mate? It's all looking very serious.
So what we're about to do here is a 360-degree view video of the whole intersection.
Yep.
Yeah, we start off true north and then we do clockwise.
Yep.
And this is so the guys back in the office can see how this whole intersection comes together. Okay. Gonna come around your way.
Yeah. Why can't I be in it? I have a feeling our cameraman might be in it.
But basically in time we also want to be able to put all this kind of stuff on our maps.
Yep.
Particularly our apps and digital stuff, so that people can get a really good first-hand view of what it's like. We've just driven 4 days to see what this intersection's like.
Yep.
Much more helpful if the people can see that ahead of time.
Yeah.
So that's part of the fun of it though.
Mate.
Follow the road less travelled, it's good.
All right, so you're done there?
Yep, I'm done.
All right,
good.
Cool.
Graham's down there tagging that campsite.
Yep.
So when he's done, we'll be away.
We'll head that way. We've actually had to come a little further east than the geocentre because of the way the shot lines have been laid out. This now means we're going to have to approach our target from the east, heading west. Now we've just got to find that westbound shot line. You blokes are the experts, but directly to the left on my HEMA are 2 red dots.
Yeah, Graham's confirming it. Yep. We're straight east of the geographic centre, so what do you reckon, Graham? How far?
I would call that a 5k.
Yeah, we'll finally work out what heading west on these dunes is really like.
All right, well, middle of the day, it's nice and warm. I don't think those dunes are going to give up their treasure easily. I think we could have a struggle on our hands here. Let's do this, to the centre.
Alright, Simpson Desert Radio, this is the HEMA Map Patrol. We're at convoy of 3, heading west bound to the geographic centre. Yeah!
Now, we have got several dunes to conquer from the east, and the satellite imagery suggests that they're big, and I mean really big.
Heart started racing a little bit more than it has been the last few days. I guess I'll just swallow my heart and go for it. See you on the other side.
Good luck, mate.
Looks bumpy. All right, yeah, see, that's the problem. It's real bumpy, but that big 200 has got so much power.
Come on. 200.
A little bit of air under that left front.
That was one heck of a drive. The amount of power that thing has.
It's a pretty sweet feeling when she gets rolling. Anyway, I made you some wheel tracks, mate. See if you can follow me.
Yeah, it's something to aim for. All right, my shot. The main problem I'm going to have here is it's so bumpy at the bottom. Dave, I'm thinking maybe third gear low, mate, and give it a bit more. I think my big problem here is going to be trying to get into third, to be honest.
You should be able to take off in third from there.
If it wasn't for these whoop-de-doos in front, you could gun it in second and then change into third.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with a lot of sand dunes.
Well, I tell you what, I might have given that just a little bit too much right boot, but the momentum worked.
Mate, I thought you'd booked your flight out of there once you went through there. I reckon a couple of wheels were off the ground.
Now, I've seen Dave drive before, and the guy is a machine. He is going to destroy this. Dave's watched me, he's also watched Rob. He's picked a slightly different line, got his gear choice perfect, and he has made that look easy. Hey Rob, looks like there's almost like a couple of stages in this next dune.
A little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. Tight turn at the top.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Pretty firm to start with. It's all about the change.
Have a go at that. Rob is giving it all he's got. That 200 series has just got bucket loads of power. That looked like a pure power thing, that did.
Yeah, she's pretty lumpy. You don't want to take it too fast.
All right, Dave, I'm going to give this a go, mate. I'm going to follow Rob's lead, crawl up this first bit, and then keep a bit in reserve for the top, I reckon. That is so soft. The problem with so many of these dunes out here are the whoop-de-doos or corrugations at the bottom, meaning that whilst you've got all the run-up in the world, you can't give it full power until you're on the dune itself.
You think you could vary that line and go to your left from where you are there?
Straight up to the left.
Yeah, from here I'm thinking that might be an option because it's fresh.
I'll give it one more go, but I don't think I've got a hope in heck. It's like powder in there.
There might be a straighter line this way. She's soft.
Nah, guys, I'm bogged down to the belly here. Can you see an easier way around on the sat images there, Rob?
Yeah, mate, we just had a look on the imagery and doesn't seem to be an easy way around this one. Sun's getting a bit lower, so how about we just snatch her out and keep going?
Righto, mate, hook her up. I think just to make this a little bit easier for the boys as well, I might just chuck some max tracks in front of these tyres to pop me up out of the hole that I'm in right now. I figure on the side of a dune, any little advantage helps, eh? I'm actually on quite a steep angle here too, so I'm going to get the max tracks out and just help to push me up and on top of the dune whilst we're doing the snatch recovery. We'll just take it really slow for the first one.
So you just want me to get the tension on?
I think so. We'll just see how we go. I've got max tracks underneath. I'm ready to go when you are.
Alright, slowly pull.
That's you, mate. Go for it. Nice work, mate. It's come back on that. Beautiful. There we go. Righto, mate. So close.
Just pop it up over. I don't think it's gonna do it.
I really thought Dave had it there. He was carrying just a little bit more momentum through that rough stuff than I did. But he was caught out on the second part of the dune. Nice work, mate.
That's what we call it in the industry, giving it hell.
Guys, looks like we've got 2 more dunes to go. This one's not going to let us get past easy though. Lockers are in for this one, the back.
We are so close now, but these dunes are monstrous. Coming from the east, they are so much steeper than what we've been used to when we're going from the west.
The empty's way up.
Now, the problem with the second and third car is you just get stuck in the tracks of the person coming up before you. Ideally, you wouldn't follow the same line.
Well, about 5 metres to your left. Maybe give that a crack.
That's what I'm thinking. I might go over that way. The difference between cutting your own line and following someone else's is like chalk and cheese.
Yeah, no, you made that look quite easy.
Good to go, mate.
Nice work, mate.
Okay, one more dune. We nearly got this. Rob's just jumped out of the four-wheel drive and gone up on foot on top of that dune there. We are literally within metres of this point. We're just having troubles locating it dead on. I kind of thought that might be the case too, because what we're looking for is a pole, a piece of wood in the centre of the Simpson Desert. So you can imagine the margin for error. You've only got to be out by 100 metres, which when we've been driving for 3 days, 100 metres is nothing.
I couldn't see it.
Ah, right.
Onwards and upwards. Literally.
Last dune to the centre.
And it's on.
This dune is an absolute doozy. It's not often that a dune stops the map patrol truck.
I think I missed it.
That's going to be hard to get out
Look,
there.
sky.
Oh look, the sky.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think you've got any chance of going forward. Signs are clear. Just go over that bush behind it. Fine.
Rob just realised himself, so he's got a better angle to take another crack at it.
Alright, last sand dune, take 2.
A slightly different line. He's up and over the top. That is a big sand dune.
Ooh! Done it.
Oh yeah. It's unbelievable. Oh, give it a crack.
Right about now, I'm looking at the line Rob's taken and I'm wondering what I should do.
Over there, yeah, there.
From up the back,
It's up
Dave's
up.
seen another route. And he's given me some advice and I'm into it. All right, I can't see where I'm going because of that sun. I think I've got it. For now, we're there. Yeah, that was some good advice from Dave. That was a great line. Made it look easy. Now, it's all up to Dave. Come on, mate. Dave, I'm up when you're ready, mate. I'm up when you're ready.
I'm on my way.
Dave's got this down pat. He's doing it perfectly. It's just that it's so cut up with the cars in front.
I'm going to come over there.
So close. You're all over this.
Yeah, I'm going to go slightly right this time.
Got this, buddy.
Yeah.
Send us over the hill.
Yeah, no worries.
Dave spots another line. He readjusts, moves around a bit. He's going to give this all he's got. That was a heck of a drive, mate.
Got done.
Wheels in the air.
Nice work.
Yeah.
That was the last June.
Yeah. So where is it? Can you see it?
Yep, sure can. Can you?
No? Where is it?
Keep looking.
Oh, I'm sure I'll see it
Come on.
eventually. I thought you might narrow it down for me.
Over here, mate. Straight over there.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
I reckon, what do we got? 300 metres?
Yep, something like that.
Straight off this dune.
And then up there.
And one last north push, which will be
Right
easy.
there.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't
Lovely
come this
work.
far to sit in front of these cars and look at it.
No?
What do you say we drive up there?
Let's
Yep.
go.
In the very centre of the Simpson Desert.
Very centre.
Let's do this. Come on.
Bang in the middle. Let's go.
In the trucks. You know what? For that last 300 metres, there was complete silence. I guess we were all just overcome by the fact that we'd made it this far. And now we were right on top of our goal. This was a time to reflect on what a long, hard slog it's been, but at the same time, one of the best adventures I've ever been on. Now, as to be expected, there's not a whole heap at the middle of the Simpson Desert. There's a large marker pole that indicates the exact position of the geocentre, and of course, there is evidence of a few other adventurers that have been out here before us. There's also some amazing stories written in the visitor's book that are simply inspiring. What an absolutely epic trip to make it here to the centre of the Simpson Desert for me. I left southwest WA some time ago and I've driven all the way here. That alone is something of a personal challenge, but there's more to it than that. You see, I got to share it with the HEMA boys and of course my old mate Dave from Mount Dare, and we've mapped a route out to here. These boys will put something together, I'm sure they will. But guys, this has been, for us, a personal adventure that I will never forget. The centre of the Simpson Desert, but of course, we've made it here. Now we've got to get out of here. We're going to spend the night camped up on a dune. Stay tuned, because we are exactly halfway through this adventure. I'm not going to see you here at the centre of the Simpson Desert, but I'll definitely see you next time on 4-wheel drive action. Nice one, boys.
Well done, Graham.
Well done, mate. Well done. Dave, good stuff, mate. Graham? Excellent stuff.
Graham.
All right. Not the ideal chip for the desert.
Number 21 and rolling.
Woohoo! I don't know. Where are we going, mate? Talk us through it.
Well, the simple plan is to go to a spot right in the right in the centre of the Simpson Desert.
Yep.
Apology.
I wait for him to get to the other side before I even move. You call me through and do it. Whoa, what was that? Now. Hey, ads. Ads. Just height. Yeah, perfect.
It's all right, mate.
What was that?
Yeah?
That was weird.
That shot's so good.
Great how the colours change. Colours.
Oh. This is stressing me out now.
What happens if I tip it upside down? Oh yeah, you wig out, don't you? You don't like it.
Don't do that.
Man, that thing is flashing me in the eyes really badly. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's...
That helps?
Yeah.
Does that help you drive?
Doesn't help me drive. Pluck that sucker out of the air. Middle of the Simpson with Mount Dare. Almost to the point where the 4-wheel drive is as subject to failure as anything else out here. What I mean by that is that you could be walking out here and you would be in just as much What am I trying to say?